Don't let anyone disenfranchise you because you're a young man, especially a young white male man. Don't ever let anyone talk down to you. We need strong men out there, strong men who are convicted, that will be good leaders, good husbands, good fathers like mine. We need that. And young women, we need you to also rise up. Don't compromise yourself. Don't look at other women and compare yourself. God has created you for a purpose and a reason far greater than you and I will ever know on this side of heaven. But just know that as long as you're a part of Turning Point USA, you have us by your side.
Some people just don't seem to know when it's time to step back. And if you listen to many of Erika Kirk's critics, they believe she fits that description perfectly. After losing her husband at 37 and raising 2 children on her own, many expected she would receive an outpouring of public sympathy. Instead, the response has been much more divided.
Just 2 days after her husband was killed, Erika appeared to make a statement on his channel.
Good evening. My name is Erika Kirk. Charlie Kirk is my husband. The evildoers responsible for my husband's assassination have no idea what they have done. They should all know this. If you thought that my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea. You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country. When I got home last night, Gigi, our daughter, just ran into my arms, and I talked to her and she said, "Mommy, I missed you." I said, "I miss you too, baby." She goes, "Where's Daddy?" "What do you tell a 3-year-old? She's 3. I said, "Baby, Daddy loves you so much. Don't you worry. He's on a work trip with Jesus, so he can afford your blueberry budget."
Some people, including former followers of her late husband's work, have questioned her public appearances and intentions. In their view, almost every move she makes looks carefully planned, and that perception has sparked intense debate across social media. Rather than stepping away as the criticism has continued to grow, Erika has remained in the public eye. She keeps appearing at events, speaking on major stages, and expanding her public profile, even as more people share different opinions about her role. Supporters see her actions as a sign of strength and determination, while critics believe she is trying to become the new public face of the movement her late husband helped build.
Your questions, and hopefully we'll be able to answer any thoughts that you have.
Who is more conservative and why?
Erika.
Yes.
By far. Not even close. I am a moderate compared to Erika.
Those different views have kept her in the headlines, and the debate around her shows no sign of fading anytime soon. Even though the situation was already tense, each passing week has brought even more attention and discussion. The spotlight on Erika has only become brighter, with nearly every public appearance and decision being closely watched and discussed online.
It's evil. Charlie and I have always been very clear on our stance. Israel, Jewish people. It's awful. Anti-Semitism is what healing factor comes out of hating Jewish people? What healing factor comes out of hating Christians? What healing factor comes out? Hate in general? Nothing. Charlie always would say very clearly, Jew hate was brain rot. He would always say it. We've been to Israel twice together, and to be able to walk in the place where our Lord walked and see the Bible come to life in Technicolor, how could you hate that place? How could you hate the Jewish people?
Many viewers have noticed that Erika's recent media appearances have sparked even more conversation and debate.
There you go.
Oh, look at all the thumbs up. Look how cute that is. Sorry, this is a little bit more informal than probably Charlie would be reacting. How sweet. I didn't know they could do that. I hate Zoom. I never like Zoom. Sorry, you guys. I just wanted to say first and foremost, my heart obviously is broken for you guys as much as it is for our family. You guys lost not only a boss, but someone that you looked up to, someone that you believed in his mission, that you also that you loved. You loved listening to his show, hearing his wisdom on things. I'm sure some of you have also had very personal moments of where you sat down and
had private conversations with him. I want you all to hold on to those.
A friend of mine, let's call her Erika. She's had a wild life, this woman. She was in Romania, she had an orphanage, she was on a reality show, she married this famous guy, she was an intelligence asset. And I said to her, how do you do this? And she says, Tim, it's Neuro's energy and focus mix. And I says, but how do you do it after the guy, the husband and father of the kids gets murdered and you're out there doing all kinds of stuff? You're doing fundraisers and you're dancing around with glitter pants. How does this happen? She goes, I could lie to you, but I'm telling you, it's Neuro's energy and focus mix. I said, really? She goes, sure. I said, how are you running this organization 7 hours after this guy got popped?
Critics have pointed to her interviews, speeches, and public reactions as possible signs that the ongoing pressure may be affecting her, leading to a wave of speculation across social media and beyond. But instead of receiving the understanding and patience that some believe she expected, it seems that nearly everything the former Miss Arizona says or does is being closely examined and discussed.
Seems to fall increasingly flat with each resurfaced morsel from the old days.
He is the executive director of the Task Force on National and Homeland Security and director of the U.S. Nuclear Strategy Forum, both congressional advisory boards. I touch a little bit of topics on the grid vulnerability that we have here in our country, and just basically tell the audience what exactly EMP is and what are the threats that we need to be aware of as Americans, and what our major security issue here in America is right now.
Well, an electromagnetic pulse can be generated by a nuclear weapon detonated at high altitude. And we have seen Iran write in its military doctrine, this is basically why they want the bomb. We've also seen them practice launching missiles from short-range missiles from ships to simulate an EMP attack.
People continue to debate what she knows, what her intentions might be, and where her loyalties truly stand. Those questions have only fueled even more discussion across social media and beyond. That growing sense of uncertainty has become a major part of the story. To understand how everything reached this point, it helps to go back
Turns
to
out
where it all began.
Kirk's mother has been a CIA spy, or a spy, for a long time. Now, you know, she had like 50 different LLC companies that she creates and closes and all. And so Wolves in Finance have done a great job with that. And now Project Constitution says Lori Friends appears in Edward Snowden's leaked PRISM docs as NSA agent. For those of us tracking the new TPUSA narrative, this isn't just a coinkydink. It's a confirmation of the intelligent asset theory. The coincidence officially dies. They are running a script. If Lori is a confirmed intelligence asset, her daughter's entire life story suddenly looks like a meticulously managed operation, which it was.
The next chapter for Turning Point USA started almost immediately after the assassination of Charlie Kirk in Provo, Utah, setting off a wave of public attention and intense debate. Just 2 days after her husband's death, Erika appeared to release a statement through his channel, drawing immediate attention and prompting a wide range of reactions. Then, only 11 days after the shooting, a New York Times report introduced another development to the story. According to the article, Erika was in her mother's hospital room in Phoenix when she received a call from Michael McCoy, adding another detail that quickly became part of the ongoing public conversation. Charlie Kirk's longtime assistant was the one calling. Looking back on that moment, Erika later said she had a feeling she already knew what he was about to tell her before he even spoke. That comment quickly caught people's attention and became another major topic in the growing public conversation surrounding the events.
that we've presented to congressional officials. 1 being cyber, 2 being hackers, 3 being physical threats, 4th one is solar EMP, and the 5th one is man-made. And when we go over this risk analysis, they hear what we're saying, but they don't want to take action. Take action.
Well, there are 18 critical infrastructures.
It's weird, but
Very weird.
she's doing a CIA informational video.
Weird.
An acting gig, or is this something else?
Perhaps, or,
I know,
you know,
just
but even so, you're doing an
Yeah.
acting gig for the CIA. Who calls you for that?
Yeah.
You ever get one of those calls?
No.
No, I never got one of those calls.
And my agent never hit me with that one.
Yeah, it's odd. Well, there's a lot of people that think that she was his handler. She was
Oh.
Charlie Kirk's handler. But of course, there's a lot of people that think I have handlers.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, you got about 9 Navy SEALs out there.
They're not they're my friends.
At that point, many of Charlie Kirk's supporters were still standing firmly behind Erika as they mourned alongside a community that had followed his work for years. Reports also circulated claiming that Charlie believed Erika held even stronger hardline views than he did. For many supporters, those reports were seen as a reassuring sign rather than a reason for concern. Instead of creating doubt, those claims initially boosted confidence among many of his followers. Just 8 days after Charlie's passing, it was announced that Erika would become the director of Turning Point USA after a unanimous vote. From that moment forward, both Erika and the organization found themselves under constant public attention, with nearly every decision, appearance, and statement becoming the subject of intense discussion and ongoing controversy.
A thing called Happy Easter. Do we have that? Everyone happy? Anybody that doesn't want? Hello, darling. Wow, this is a good table. I like that table. You're doing well, right? Okay. I think you should sue him, but you know, I told her, you ought to sue somebody. They're so jealous of Erika. I said, you ought to sue their, I can say it, you're not allowed to say this, you have to be nicer. Sue their ass off.
Whether it was a viral moment at a public event, comments about forgiveness after the tragedy, or ongoing debates over how Charlie's views and legacy should be understood, Erika quickly became one of the most talked about figures in the conversation. Every new development seemed to bring another wave of reactions and opinions. Supporters argued that she was doing everything she could to carry forward a difficult mission during an incredibly painful time. Critics, however, believed that some of her decisions and public statements raised more questions than answers, adding to the confusion and frustration. What began as strong support from many people gradually turned into a much more divided and emotional public debate.
Get on your feet, boy!
War is raging in Iran.
We're praying for all the soldiers.
As the months went by, almost every interview, speech, or public appearance sparked fresh discussion online. Supporters and critics closely analyzed each new statement, making it increasingly difficult for Erika to stay out of the spotlight as the conversation continued to grow. The controversy eventually stretched beyond political opponents and reached people who had once been seen as allies. After Candace Owens publicly criticized Erika's handling of information related to the murder investigation, the disagreements between the two became much more visible and sparked even more public discussion. Before long, Erika was responding to her late husband's former friend during interviews, adding another high-profile chapter to an already growing public dispute. As attention continued to build, she also spent significant time speaking in support of Israel while publicly commenting on the person convicted of killing her husband. Each appearance and statement drew fresh reactions from across the political spectrum. Those actions kept the conversation going, with both supporters and critics offering sharply different interpretations. As a result, the debate surrounding Erika only grew louder, bringing even more scrutiny and speculation with every new development.
Evil. She is evil. When I watched that, I went, she's evil. I am so infuriated watching that back because she's lying. She's objectively lying and she's acting. She was told to say that to make people believe that she had access to something that we didn't.
Do you believe that Tyler Robinson murdered your husband?
Yes, I do.
Why do you think it is so hard for so many people to believe that reality?
Because it's too simple. Again, everyone always has to think there's more to the story. Well, sometimes there's not. I've seen the autopsy report. I've seen our case pulled together. I've been in constant contact with our lawyers, the prosecuting team. I've seen it all.
Right? It was because of that clip that when I went in to meet with her, I was going, oh, okay, maybe she has something that the public doesn't. I spoke to her, I've been in touch with the lawyers, I've seen the autopsy report, and then I sit down with her 72 hours later, and she tells me, and her lawyer confirms to me, that they have nothing more than what the public has seen.
With every new public statement, skepticism surrounding Erika appeared to grow even stronger. Many critics questioned her messaging and openly wondered why others continued to support her public efforts. As the debate intensified, nearly every appearance she made became the focus of close attention and non-stop discussion online. To her critics, the situation no longer seemed like a carefully managed public response. Instead, they viewed it as a series of decisions that became harder to understand as time went on. They argued that each new development reinforced their concerns and believed the public image she presented did not fully match what they felt they were observing.
Please welcome Turning Point USA CEO and Chair, Erika Kirk.
One moment that received particular attention was Erika's appearance on a Turning Point USA Zoom call just 5 days after her husband's death. That appearance quickly became another widely discussed moment, with supporters and critics offering very different interpretations of what it meant. Some observers pointed to what they considered a surprisingly composed demeanor, and that quickly became another source of public debate and speculation. The footage spread online, with people offering very different opinions about what they believed it showed. After the video gained attention, criticism of Erika appeared to grow even stronger. Many online commentators closely examined her public image, with some arguing that it seemed highly polished and carefully managed. As a result, conversations about her authenticity continued to expand across social media and political circles. Critics also focused on the footage, noting that Erika often looked down at her notes while speaking. To them, that raised questions about how natural the presentation felt. Some believed the remarks appeared carefully rehearsed, while others saw it as a normal way to stay organized during a difficult public appearance. Others, however, argued that it came across more like a carefully planned public relations effort than a personal reflection, adding even more fuel to the ongoing public debate. If the goal was to connect with people on an emotional level, many observers believe the response did not unfold as expected. Instead of receiving broad support from conservative audiences, Erika faced criticism from voices within those same circles. Several conservative commentators became some of her most outspoken critics, and her public appearances regularly turned into topics of discussion, analysis, and debate across online platforms. Elsewhere, major podcasts and online commentators, including discussions involving platforms such as the Joe Rogan Experience, have examined Erika's background in greater detail.
I mean, how much?
Yeah, I mean, listen,
she is absolutely committed to, and I don't want to put words in Erika's mouth. I think she's probably going to kind of clarify what this event has meant to her, at some point this week, and kind of where her head's at. So I don't want to speak for her, but, actually she's completely committed and devoted to, fulfilling Charlie's legacy and mission, and none of that has changed. Obviously, that's a few feet away from Charlie at UVU.
Some of those conversations have explored allegations about possible connections to intelligence circles before she met Charlie. Those claims have been widely debated, and no consensus has emerged regarding their accuracy, but they have remained part of the broader public discussion surrounding her. Even if those allegations are ultimately inaccurate, and her earlier work simply reflected different career opportunities. Some critics argue that claims she had little connection to politics before meeting Charlie become harder for them to accept as older interviews and public records continue to draw fresh attention online. With each archived interview, public appearance, or previously overlooked detail that resurfaces, the debate over her background seems to grow even louder. Critics have also pointed to her mother's documented professional connections in network security and related fields, adding another topic to the ongoing discussion and speculation. Those connections by themselves do not establish the broader claims being made about Erika or her background. Even so, online commentators and theorists frequently reference them when presenting their own interpretations and arguments. At the same time, beyond criticism from political commentators, Erika also became a frequent subject of online comedy, satire, and viral jokes, further expanding the public conversation surrounding her. One widely discussed example came from comedian Drewski, who released a parody that many viewers saw as a joke about Erika's public image. Using exaggerated makeup and an over-the-top performance, the sketch poked fun at what critics described as a polished and carefully managed public persona, attracting major attention across social media and sparking plenty of reactions.
First and foremost, I woke up this morning and I was highly upset. I had a little bit of a yesterday news hangover. I realized that I'm actually so not okay with what Erika Kirk did. She essentially put a target on my back by wrongly asserting that I accused her of murdering her husband. I don't think we can let that fly, right? No, her punishment is going to be more truth. I always say she is sentenced to more truth, and I have been keeping a little secret, and it's time for me to reveal it. Also, I am getting the sense that there is something happening, something big happening. It feels like people are upping the crazy a little bit. Something is coming undone in the background. And on that note, the big news of the day is guess who crawled from under his rock, apparently, and sent me a full-blown lawsuit. Yes, Brian Harpole. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that would grant me, your girl, the power of subpoena. Let's get started. Welcome back to Candace.
While many people outside conservative political circles viewed the situation as material for comedy and online entertainment, Erika also received support from several prominent political figures. According to public reports and discussions at the time, she was encouraged by the president to consider legal action over certain portrayals and criticisms that she believed went beyond fair commentary. Similar views were also expressed by figures such as Ted Cruz. Even so, not everyone on the political right supported that approach, and the differing opinions added another layer to an already heated public debate surrounding Erika and the growing controversy.
In this culture we're living in absorbs disagreement as a form of personal betrayal. It turns having an opposing viewpoint into a moral crime worthy of punishment. And here's what I've realized through all of this, having lived through quite literal hell these past 7 months, if you strip someone of their humanity, and the list goes on and on and on, there is a serious epidemic of dehumanization plaguing this country.
Other conservative commentators, including voices such as Baron Coleman, argued that Erika should remain open to public scrutiny despite the hardships she has faced. They maintained that personal tragedy does not automatically place a public figure beyond criticism, especially when ongoing questions are being raised about certain statements, decisions, and public appearances that critics believe deserve closer attention. Even as criticism continued to grow and several of her public appearances sparked backlash, Erika showed no sign of stepping away from public life. Rather than changing her approach in response to her critics, she stayed highly visible and continued carrying out her public role. Supporters viewed that as a sign of determination and resilience, while critics saw it very differently, keeping the public debate active and intense. To some critics, it suggested an unwillingness to recognize how negatively certain actions and statements were being received. Instead of stepping back, Erika continued attending events and speaking at major gatherings, keeping a highly visible role within the movement and staying at the center of public conversation.
Nowhere in the Bible, nowhere in any religious tradition does it say, if you're a widow, you get a free pass to lie to anyone you want, to gaslight everybody you meet, for everything you've ever done in your entire life that is dog doo-doo. You just get overlooked. No one's allowed to bring it up. No one's allowed to talk about it. For the rest of your life, everyone has to fawn all over you and support you because, my God, you're a widow. It doesn't exist. I've looked at scripture. It's not in there. Erika, Graham, Gary, not in here. Andrew doesn't say it. There's no requirement. I support her as the head of TPUSA. There's no prohibition on me criticizing her for documented falsehoods. None.
That approach only intensified the ongoing debate and kept the spotlight firmly on Erika. As she continued making public appearances, some of her most outspoken critics, including Candace Owens, remained focused on her actions and public statements. Through interviews, podcasts, and online discussions, they continued questioning her decisions and challenging her public narrative, rather than allowing the issue to fade from attention. As Erika's public story remained closely connected to the tragic act of violence that changed her life, many observers believe another dramatic event marked the start of a new chapter in the controversy surrounding her, bringing renewed attention and another wave of public debate. What happened next quickly became one of the biggest topics of discussion across political media and social platforms, with people offering very different versions of the story. Recently, Erika attended the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Depending on who was describing the event, the evening was seen either as a public relations setback or simply another appearance that became surrounded by speculation. As conversations about security concerns and other headlines from the gathering spread, one of the biggest talking points centered on footage and reports claiming that Erika was seen leaving the event in tears. In most situations, seeing someone visibly emotional would likely lead to sympathy and concern. But because opinions about Erika have become so divided, the online response was much more mixed. While some people expressed compassion and support, others reacted with jokes, memes, and criticism, keeping the debate around her as active as ever. Reports and commentary from a variety of sources suggested that the incident may have left Erika deeply shaken, prompting widespread speculation that she could eventually step back from public life after months of intense scrutiny and ongoing controversy.
I call BS on her reason for going to the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Girl, just be real. Just be real with everyone. I went because I was invited and I wanted to go. You didn't go to like, oh, I'm going to hold reporters accountable. You just wanted to go. You wanted to go and you did, and that's fine. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. So like that, it's that kind of stuff that makes people think her behavior is more performative than anything. Just be real. People want authenticity. You wanted to go to the White House Correspondents' Dinner. You were invited as a guest of Fox News. That's fine. Because people were making fun of her sparkly outfits following Charlie Kirk's assassination. Just be you. And more importantly, videos like this don't help. They just don't.
Soon afterward, Erika released a public statement that led many people to wonder whether she was considering taking a break from her public role. She said, Saturday was yet another traumatic example of the evil in our country and the continued rise in political violence. I'm taking time to spend with my family. I will be joining the Charlie Kirk Show Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern. She continued to briefly address what took place. Enough is enough. That message immediately sparked a wave of speculation online. Some readers took it as a sign that she might be seriously considering stepping back from public appearances after months of controversy, criticism, and intense public attention. However, that interpretation did not last long. Just a few days later, Erika was back in front of the cameras and once again taking part in the public conversation. Rather than staying out of the spotlight, she used the appearance to respond to claims and theories that she believed were inaccurate or misleading, reigniting discussion across social media and political circles. Among the people Erika addressed most directly was Candace Owens, whose criticism of her had become one of the most widely discussed disputes within conservative media circles. Their public exchanges had already drawn significant attention, making her response another closely watched moment.
You can have a career after children, but if you try to have a career while you have your kids, there is no such thing as balance. That is such a myth. Gigi gets those little Montessori toys every month, and there's this one that has the buckets that balance. If I put something in one of those buckets, it's gonna drop down. And if I try to balance them, both buckets are filled, which is not realistic. I can't spend half of the day doing one thing. I missed out half of that time with being with the kids. So you have to choose where your heart has to be fully with the home.
Erika then explained why she chose to attend the event in the first place. According to her account, the decision was motivated by a desire to address ongoing disagreements and confront issues that had been building over time. Her comments quickly attracted attention, with many viewers interpreting them as an attempt to answer her critics and resolve long-running public disputes, while others saw them differently. Predictably, the explanation did little to slow the criticism. If anything, some observers argued that it added even more attention to the ongoing debate surrounding Erika's public image, keeping the conversation alive across social media and political commentary. What made the reaction especially noticeable was that even some people who had previously stayed neutral began questioning whether her current approach was helping or hurting her public standing. One critic wrote, "If Erika Kirk truly is just a grieving widow and not actually a bad person, which is now becoming harder and harder to believe, then somebody around her who cares need to tell her the following." Another critic added, "Her disposition is totally unlikable. Her delivery is completely untrustworthy." Someone else wrote, "Every time she opens her mouth, she digs herself into a bigger hole. I would rather not tell a widow how to grieve, but I would advise a wannabe astroturfed CEO to go home and spend more time with her kids she claims to love."
I have people saying I'm not fit to be CEO, and I have Candace Owens claiming I murdered my husband. And the list goes on and on and on.
And I get on camera and I show everybody how batshit crazy I am. And the evidence goes on and on and on and on. And I will not stop, because just Monday I said I was taking time off to be with my family. And now it's Thursday and I am hosting a podcast clip, because in Turning Point, you can both take time off from work and work at the exact same time. And this hypocrisy can go on and on and on and on.
Comments like these spread quickly across social media and became part of the broader backlash surrounding her public appearances. Critics argued that she seemed more focused on responding to ongoing disputes and public feuds than on the larger tragedy that had first brought so much attention to her. Supporters, however, continued to see the situation differently, keeping the public debate active and deeply divided. Whether those perceptions were fair or not, they gave Erika's critics another reason to question her actions, and the controversy only became more intense as a result.
Owens didn't hold back and dragged her for over 20 minutes.
In one sentence, she said, I after today's traumatizing shooting, I need to spend time with my family, and then I will be on the Charlie Kirk show on Wednesday. So I think she just needed 48 hours. We get to that. The response has just been brutal, okay? Everyone is calling her out. They're saying that the look is wrong. People are making fun of saying that she looks like she came dressed up as the assassin that was walking up the stairs, allegedly, but also just her general demeanor. Okay, here are just some of the reactions. We can go through them. I guess I missed it. When did Candace Owens mention anywhere in the podcast that you murdered your husband? You didn't miss it. I trust gas station sushi more than I trust Erika Kirk. This user writes, I was hoping you were going to address all the questions being asked of you. This lecture was pointless. We're just getting lectured every day. We're so tired of being lectured. This person writes, Candace Owens never once made the explicit claim that you murdered your husband.
Some of her strongest critics argued that her response to public criticism appeared more emotional than her public reaction in the aftermath of her husband's death, a comparison that quickly sparked even more discussion. They pointed to her focus on media disputes and online commentary as support for their view that her priorities seemed misplaced. That argument spread widely across social media and political circles, drawing strong reactions from both critics and supporters and keeping the debate firmly in the spotlight. One of the first high-profile figures to respond to Erika's remarks was Candace Owens. After Erika suggested that Candace had promoted the idea that she was somehow connected to Charlie's death, an allegation Owens firmly denied.
Yes, I am grieving. Yes, alongside our great team running Turning Point USA. Yes, I'm raising my babies. And you don't separate those into different boxes. They can all coexist. And so, yeah, I take my babies to the office. I want my kids to see what their father built. I want them to be a part of it. Maybe it's supposed to be something that inspires them and encourages them to think, okay, we live in the greatest country where you can be so many different things. You can be a mother. You can be an author. You can be a nurse. You can be a teacher. In one full lifetime. You don't have to just be one thing. And honestly, being a mother is one of the greatest honors and privileges and job titles you could ever have. Everyone is...
Candace also repeated an argument that commentators such as Baron Coleman had raised on their own programs, reinforcing a position that had already been circulating in conservative media discussions. Their view was that because Erika is a public figure with ties to influential political and media circles, her statements and actions should remain open to public scrutiny.
But I thought that I was going to get straight answers, and then she lied to my face. And from that point on, when I clocked her on those lies, and when the public kept repeatedly clocking her on lies and seeing your reaction to it like it is right now, I grew increasingly suspicious of Erika. I remain suspicious of Erika. I think that is any person who is being honest. Why don't you respond to what I'm actually saying? I am saying that donors are telling us that that was an AI video or an AI audio that you presented of Charlie Kirk. Wouldn't that be a great time to clear that up? If you're gonna sit there and you're gonna point the finger at Candace Owens, I would have said, and it is egregious that Candace Owens is implying that we would make this up, that Charlie didn't want me to take over. And then you slam dunk, show the video of Charlie Kirk saying in Aspen that he wanted you to be the CEO. I have made a lot of claims about you lying, and I stand by the claims that I have made on this show.
The commentator released a lengthy response. Owens spent more than 20 minutes criticizing Erika's comments and challenging what she described as misrepresentations of her views, taking their already public dispute to another level and drawing even more attention. One of Owens's central criticisms was her belief that Erika was trying to shift the focus of the controversy and portray her as the main villain in the story. Owens strongly rejected that characterization, arguing that her comments and coverage had been taken out of context or inaccurately represented. As a result, the public dispute became less focused on the original issues and more centered on competing accounts of who had been treated unfairly in the debate. Above all, Owens made it clear that she was not backing away from the concerns she had raised about Erika's public image and messaging. She argued that there was a difference between how Erika presented herself publicly and what critics believed could be happening behind the scenes. Whether people agreed with Owens or disagreed, she maintained that those questions deserved public discussion and scrutiny, ensuring that the controversy remained an active topic across political media and social platforms.
How disingenuous can you be, Andrew? You have to get tired of it at some point. You just got to get tired of it. Again, I will assert publicly, you have my full permission. Go Max, release the entire chain. I have nothing to hide. When I said and I asserted several times, there is not a single thing that he can point to that I said on this show that was leaked to me by Aubrey Leitch, like from December 15th, okay? Post getting fired, obviously she spoke out and I've had many conversations with her, but nothing was leaked to me about that I presented on this show about anything that was going on internal. So pretending that this joke that went around of I'm the first thing I'm gonna ask her is why'd you murder your husband? Like, why are you gay? Is a little over the top. Release it all. Let the public judge. I have nothing to hide.
They argued that what they saw as inconsistencies in her public messaging justified continued questioning and accountability, regardless of the personal hardship she has faced. From their perspective, public sympathy did not remove the need for ongoing public examination and debate, and they believed those discussions should continue as long as questions remained unanswered. After another wave of online criticism, the backlash had grown so widespread that even commentators from outlets often viewed as politically opposed to Erika, including voices associated with the Young Turks, weighed in on the situation. Rather than only criticizing her, some offered suggestions about how she could improve her public messaging and avoid releasing videos or statements that quickly become the focus of ridicule, controversy, or negative reactions after they are posted. Not everyone approached the situation in that way, however. While some commentators tried to offer advice on improving her messaging and public appearances, others focused almost entirely on criticism. As a result, the conversation remained deeply divided, with each new appearance or statement continuing to generate fresh debate across social media and political commentary.
No, I'm not accusing you of shooting your husband. What I am assuming that I have been open about on the show is that it reeks of dishonesty. People told you this. There's something about your general nature that comes across as very dishonest. You don't seem to be interested in the very many holes. I wouldn't be able to stomach sitting or standing next to Kash Patel, and yet you do. You're sitting here at a White House Correspondents' Dinner. Why don't you ask him to give the defense what they need if you want a speedy trial, victim? You lying about the surgeon and beginning the entire story about a Superman neck, but actually you were on the phone, but you lied to my face and you're pretending that I have to take that because you're a widow? That doesn't work for us.
Rather than focusing on ways Erika could rebuild public trust, many critics have shifted their attention to her past. They have revisited earlier interviews, public appearances, and moments from her time with Charlie, comparing those with her more recent statements. Based on those comparisons, some argue they have found inconsistencies that they believe raise additional questions about her public narrative. Many people recognize that Erika's life changed dramatically after losing her husband and becoming the sole parent of her children. Critics, however, argue that those circumstances alone do not fully explain what they see as changes in her public positions and messaging. Major life events can certainly shape a person's views and priorities. Even so, some observers say they have noticed what they believe are significant differences between the values, the viewpoints she previously emphasized, and the positions she has highlighted since Charlie's death, making those perceived changes a frequent subject of public discussion and debate. For some of Erika's most outspoken critics, the differences they believe they have seen in her public behavior have led them to draw even stronger conclusions about her motivations. They argue that the person now in the spotlight reflects who she always was, while her supporters firmly reject that view and say those claims are unfair. The disagreement has only made the public conversation more intense. The debate has continued to grow more heated, with both supporters and critics standing firmly behind their views. One critic expressed that perspective in particularly strong terms, saying, "I felt sorry for him. I felt like he was being love-bombed, manipulated, and gaslighted so much by Erika and others that he probably thought he found his soulmate." The critic continued, "And sadly, it cost him his life. Relationships with narcissists are complicated. She said I missed half the day being with the kids instead of saying she missed spending time with the kids because she had to work all day. Her heart was to never be a mom. She likes being that boss bitch. Charlie stole her shine. She got left at home with the kids, and when he was around, he put the kids first. This made her very envious. She wanted the stage back. A pageant girl needs to perform. She needed the spotlight for validation." Those remarks reflect the personal opinions of one critic and should not be understood as established facts about Erika or her motivations. They became part of the broader public debate, but the claims themselves remain disputed. Meanwhile, as if the public feud were not already intense enough, tensions between figures connected to Turning Point and Candace Owens appeared ready to escalate even further, with new legal disputes adding another layer to the conflict. Given how closely the case has been followed, many observers expect that future court filings or developments could quickly become major topics of public discussion. Critics and supporters alike are watching closely to see what happens next, knowing that every new development has the potential to trigger another wave of headlines, reactions, and public debate. Meanwhile, Erika continues to face intense scrutiny from many different directions. According to her critics, both her personal reputation and public standing have changed dramatically, leaving her in a much different position than when she was primarily known as Charlie's wife. The level of public discussion has grown so broad that even people who had not followed the story closely have begun sharing their views. Some critics argue that the ongoing pressure now appears to be taking a visible toll and believe that stepping back from public life, even temporarily, could reduce the tension and slow the constant cycle of controversy. Supporters, however, continue to see her public role through a very different lens. Whether Erika decides to step back or remain in the spotlight, one thing is certain. The debate surrounding her shows no sign of ending anytime soon. With emotions still running high and opinions remaining deeply divided, the next chapter is likely to attract just as much public attention and discussion as everything that has come before.